Hey y'all, welcome back to another holiday recipe video. In this one, we're going to be making an herb roasted turkey breast. So if you want to see how I do it, just keep watching. So here I have a boneless turkey breast. It's already ready to go. It has a gravy packet, but of course I'm not going to use that. And this is a 3-pound turkey breast. I got this from Aldi. So here is the gravy packet. You can either toss this or you can use it if you want. But the first step is going to be to go ahead and clean off the turkey breast and just remove it from this netting. So I'm going to pop it out of here and into the bowl directly. And I have my water on this side just to keep my hands clean and disinfected. I usually put just normal dish soap and also some bleach in here. So I'm gonna throw in some vinegar just to help clean the turkey breast. I feel like the vinegar just does a better job of cleaning the meat, and you can see like a lot more particles and stuff floating in the water when you use it versus when you don't. So I'm gonna give it one more rinse and then we can pat it dry and start to season it. So from here, I'm gonna get it onto some paper towels and just kind of pat it dry. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm planning to use some butter and maybe some olive oil, and I want that butter to stick to it. But if I were to put butter on a wet turkey breast or any wet meat, it's gonna just slide off, and that's not what you want. You want it to stick. So that's why I'm patting it dry. And now I'm gonna take some olive oil on this side, the underside of the turkey breast, and just put a little bit of that and also some seasoning. So I'm gonna put some onion powder. And you don't need to be shy with your seasonings because this is kind of a thick piece of meat and you want the seasonings to penetrate the whole thing. So you wanna do this kind of liberally. Onion powder, some black pepper. You could also do some cayenne pepper if you wanted a little bit of a kick to it. And now I'm gonna go in with the herbs. So I have some sage here, and I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle a little bit of it. I have some rosemary. Do a little sprinkle of that. I love rosemary. If you've never tried it on like fries, it's super good. Like rosemary garlic fries are delicious. And then the last thing I'm gonna add is some Tony Chachere's. This is Creole seasoning, and this is gonna give you a little bit of a kick, but it's also gonna give you a lot of flavor. It has that cayenne pepper in it. It has some other seasonings. And honestly, even if you don't like spicy food, you can still use this, just don't overdo it. So that's all the spices on this side. So now I'm just gonna rub them all in, and then we can move on to the top of it. So I have my baking dish here, and I'm just gonna turn it right side up now. Make sure it's dry. And then we're gonna go in with the butter. So I'm just gonna, my butter is already softened, so I'm just gonna go ahead and spread the butter all over the top of it. And I know this probably goes without saying, but don't dip this back into your butter container or use it to kind of cut your butter. If you're gonna need more, then just use something different to get it with, just because you don't want to cross-contaminate. But I know sometimes you just don't think about it, because I almost just dipped it and I caught myself, so keep that in mind. I just realized I didn't put any salt on the back side of it, so I'm gonna add some salt on this side. I did add that Tony Chachere's, so that should take care of some of the saltiness. But I'm gonna go pretty heavy-handed on it on this side. And on this side, I'm only gonna do the garlic and onion powder and the herbs. And I don't know how I forgot to add the thyme because I have it sitting here, but I'm gonna put it on this side. So I'm gonna do the thyme, the rosemary, and the sage. So here's some thyme, and I'm just gonna go like this just to kind of activate it. and then sprinkle it on. So that's the thyme, and now I'm going to go in with some more sage. And these are like classic Thanksgiving flavors. You could also just make a seasoned butter and put that on top if you wanted to. And then here is the rosemary. So that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this into a 400-degree oven until it's cooked all the way through and the top is caramelized. And you want to take it out as soon as it's done. You do not want to cook this and cook it and cook it and cook it. I'm going to let you know exactly how much time mine takes to cook. And the reason why I'm cooking it at 400 is because I want to get the color on it without overcooking it. So I'll let you guys know exactly how long that takes. So it's been 35 minutes and I just pulled this out of the oven. Kind of want to test it to see if it's done because I don't want to risk overcooking it. So I just wanted to show y'all this part because I know a lot of people have kind of struggle with knowing when something's done and when it's not. So what I typically do is go into the thickest part of it and pierce it with a fork, and you can see that it's like super tough, like it's not, the fork is stuck in there and it doesn't want to come out. So we know that it's not done. But when you can stick that fork in there and it kind of goes in a little bit easier, then you know it's pretty much done. So I'm going to give it, right now it's been 35 minutes. I'm going to give it another 15 minutes and then I'll come back and check it again. Okay, so we're at the 45-minute mark and something in me is telling me that this is done. I just, even though it's still feeling a little bit tough, I think that it is done. So what I'm going to do is, hold on y'all. I want y'all to be able to see this. I'm going to cut into this part right here. And that way you can kind of sneak and see what it looks like on the inside, but you don't have to like disrupt the top where it's so pretty. So I'm going to stab it right here. This ain't the knife. Hold on, y'all. All right, I got a better knife. I'm gonna stab it right here and then kind of go in this way. And you can see that it's done. So that is it. It took a total of 45 to 50 minutes. If you want the top browner, you can throw it under the broiler for a couple minutes. And I think I might do that. Just throw it under there for about 2 minutes just to let it get a little bit darker on top. And then I'll come back after that. Okay, so here's our finished turkey breast and it looks so pretty. I'm gonna give it maybe about 10 to 15 minutes to cool, and then I'm gonna slice it so you guys can see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes and now I'm gonna go ahead and start slicing this, and let's talk about how you do that. So you can see right here that the meat is kind of going this way, and that's the grain of it. So you want to slice against the grain. So if it's going this way, if the grain of the meat is running this way, you slice this way. And that's how you get the most tender piece of meat. If you cut with the grain, it's just not going to taste good. So it's going to be super hard to chew. So I'm going to continue to cut it with the grain or against the grain. And sometimes you got to be careful because the grain will change. So you got to make sure, like now I think it might be going this way at this part. Yeah, you can see, let me show you. You can see on this slice that now it's going this way. So you got to cut it the opposite way. So rather than continuing to cut it this way, now I'm going to cut it this way, because you have to make sure you're going against the grain. And this is super easy to cut. My knife is gliding through it. I'm basically applying no pressure when I'm cutting this. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's super moist. You can see the juices running through it. It looks so good.